Live on YouTube. Welcome. We're doing it again, guys. Today we are live on YouTube. This is Syncretize. I am your host, Mr. Delroy Brooks, and today we're trying a little something different in our production. So I'm gonna bring on first our co-host that is my illustrious and well-known progeny. That would be Micah Brooks. Say hi to the microphone, to the camera, Micah.
Hello.
All right, and
Hi.
then I'm going to bring back in. We got our old buddy has returned, brother Kenny Grimes. Go ahead, Kenny. Say what's up.
Return of the King.
What's going on? How you doing,
All right, whoever
everybody?
is watching this on YouTube, why don't you mute that joint for me
And we can hear an
so that
echo.
we
Turn
get
down your
that echo
volume.
out of there. We
There
really
you
will
go.
appreciate that. But now you can see how this whole thing is going to flow. So we bring everybody in. Here we are on camera. And today, to my son's delight, because his Uncle Kenny is joining with us today, we are going to talk about being a gamer. What does it mean to be a gamer and that sort of stuff? Gaming is something that is completely outside of my wheelhouse. While gaming systems were developed while I was a young person, I never had the means to be able to be at the forefront of gaming like many other people were able to do over time. And so I'm interested to find out, especially because we've been able to bless Micah to have an opportunity to have the sorts of experiences like a gamer. He counts himself as one. Is that correct, Micah?
Yes, I do.
And we already know that Kenneth Grimes is a gamer par excellence.
Hmm.
Joe,
So let's jump right into it, guys. We're all three on screen. And my question for you today is what does it mean to be a gamer?
I'd say it is to dedicate a specific time and like an amount of time that is just for getting better at usually a specific game, but maybe you can go across like multiple games, just trying to get better at playing games that you enjoy playing.
Okay. I got another. Kenny, what do you say to being a gamer? What does that mean?
to me, being a gamer is the the art and science,
Oh
if you will,
wow.
of
Did not expect to go
mastering
there.
mastering a game in such a way that you not not necessarily just to be good, but you understand the game on a different level. For example,
Okay.
most people who play Street Fighter
Uh huh.
as a main game, they don't play it the way you and I would play it because they understand hitboxes and parries and so forth. So when you're playing against them, it's not that they're so good or it looks like they're mashing buttons. They can see basically Neo at the end of the
Matrix,
first
Matrix.
Matrix. He
he
no
sees
longer sees.
all of it.
He can
Uh.
see through. He can see the actual Matrix code. It's like, oh, okay, now I understand better.
What is the value for the both of you who are playing games? What is the value you see in game playing? Because a person like myself would be like, you're just wasting time. Can you tell me what essential uh, parts of you do you feel like are being made better? What do you become better at as a result of your gaming activity?
Um, I think I use gaming like primarily as usually a way to de-stress or to start try to piece together things in my head. Like sometimes I'll just be playing a game and then I'll just start walking forwards and just start thinking about like literally anything. And I just use that as a time to just like not focusing on anything else, just sit, play the game, be fine just playing the game. It's all cool.
So
It's all good.
basically, wasting time.
You can call it wasting time. I call it de-stressing and
Okay.
calming myself.
Okay, because your life is so stressful. I need you guys to help me to understand. So, Kenny, come jump in here. You better help out your boy.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to piggyback on what he's saying, that depending on the type of person you are, that is a real thing.
Okay.
A person could be doing any number of things, especially if, for example, like myself, you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was like a sketchy person, my wife is like, where are you? She knows where I am. She can log into the website to see exactly where I am. But outside of that, gaming can be used as a ministry, and it is just another level of social media.
Okay.
Where, like, now you're able to interact with people. And really, I don't understand how you don't, this is like the new arcade, bro.
And people also
arcades are extinct now. This Twitch is basically the arcade where you watch people who are good or entertaining play the game.
But you see, I don't see the value in doing that. So help me here, Micah. I noticed that you like to, you have your specific games that you play, and you like to get better at those games. Can you talk to me about how maybe discipline can be created in your gameplay or because of your gameplay?
Okay, so I think the best game I could use to describe discipline is either way.
Well, Micah, hold on 1 second. I don't want you to describe discipline as it relates to what you're playing, but how do you think you create a better you by being disciplined to play?
I think. Okay, could you explain the question? Because I think I understand what you're saying, but I'm also a little bit confused.
Okay. You like to play, let's see, the first day you got, what's the one with the ink? Splash, Splatoon. You got Splatoon, and on the first day you played it, you were just figuring out, pointing in directions and, whatever it was. I think that game you have to, and I've played that one a little bit, so I know you have to gain enough activity points to purchase things that will make you better at the game, to get items that make you a unique character within the game, and then be able to participate at different levels of different things, right?
Yes.
So, in order to do that, however, you have to have a particular discipline to play. I'm a button masher. I didn't know a lot of what I was doing. Some of the stuff I fell into. So, tell the difference between being a disciplined player and being a button masher like me. That's what you're explaining. And how does that make you, as a gamer, better as a person outside of playing the game? Or does it?
Okay. I think a disciplined person, well, an undisciplined person who plays video games will not see it as like something they want to get better as, but something they just do to like, oh, okay, funny characters run around the stage to do these things, whatever, and then they just move on with their life. I think a more disciplined gamer would not. They would take more time into learning the mechanics of each game they try to play, and slowly try to get better at said game, and would take the game more seriously than someone who was playing as more undisciplined and more just for fun.
Okay, Micah, this doesn't work if you're not talking about yourself.
Okay.
That was the question. I was talking to you. This is not about anything in general. This is about you. How does your discipline in playing any video game that you play that you've gotten better at, how does that help you outside of playing a video game?
I take more time in trying to figure things out, I guess.
That's where we're going. See, that's what I want you to understand, that there is something to it. I make fun of it, but you have to now understand how to correlate what I've been doing that Dad calls a waste of time. How do I say that this has caused me to be able to develop discipline so that I can focus on something and be able to work it through. Kenny, help. Can you speak to that?
Right.
How does your
So
discipline get developed?
okay, so um, I am what you would call a variety streamer when it comes to gaming.
Okay.
So that means I play Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. The discipline that it takes, because the controllers are different, mapping is different, especially keyboard and mouse. Um, Plus, you want to be, as a variety streamer, you want to be able to play games cross genre. So,
Okay.
not just shooters, but fighting, strategy, even I'm blanking. It's a story-based game, for example. If you were a gamer,
Yeah.
I wish you would play it, called Detroit Becoming Human.
Oh man.
What is that?
Yes, I got to get that to you.
Okay.
You have to do it. The way it helps me as a person, in my opinion, the last time I did camp, summer camp, um, when they heard that I was a gamer, doors opened that might not have opened had I never mentioned it.
Okay.
And so when I would speak to them, they were willing to let me in because it's like, oh, we have this in common with Pastor Ken. Like, he understands my world.
Okay.
And every now and again, when they're in their different things, well, Pastor Ken, do you play this game? And are you at this level and so forth? And being able to talk to them on that level outside of church or outside the religious experience made it easier that when I took my place up front, now I'm willing to listen to him because I can identify with him.
Okay, I got another question based on what you were just saying. That are there particular ways of being that only gamers share? Like, I know you're a gamer, so wouldn't it matter if we play this? If we don't play the same games, wouldn't we still not have anything in common? What is it about being a gamer that makes us kindred if we're not playing the same kinds of games? Micah, you can jump in here too.
I'd say different things in games will, I think, always overlap.
Okay.
So even if you don't play the same game, if you play maybe another game that has enough similarities to the game that they play, you can still like have conversations about both said games without you having to play both games.
Okay. Is
Right.
that
So
okay?
So you take a Fortnite player, which I'm not. I
But
play
Micah
Apex.
is.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how would you all link knowing he plays Fortnite and you don't?
Well, I want to be honest. There are some people who will make that a point of contention
Okay.
because people take pride in the game that they play.
Okay, so even
But
within
they
the
will-
gamer community, there are factions, if you
Most
will.
definitely. There
Oh,
are
okay.
people who will represent their game until the day they die.
Even
Okay.
if it's trash.
Exactly.
Well, now you see that, Kenny. Now that's interesting. What would make a game trash? Now be careful because people are going to be watching this. So don't shout people,
Absolutely.
wear people out.
I think that there are like it depends on the faction. Like, I am a big Overwatch player.
Okay.
People who have been playing Overwatch since season 1, much like the church.
Mercy.
Ready for this?
Okay.
Much like the church, they hold their being a part of the game from the start, the same way a church member would hold their place as being here when the cornerstone was laid.
My Lord.
And so then they start, they get on the computer and it's, let me talk to Blizzard because the game is not this and the game is not that. Then Blizzard has to figure out, who do I listen to? Do I listen to this person over here because that's
they will
basically
rub
your
it-
church board?
And they will rub it in your face.
Absolutely. And it's like, oh man, this game is trash because there's no I got people in my game that are not on the same level with me, and really, it's just a lot of pride.
I was from day one, therefore I know how the game should work, and it
Okay.
should go on the way I think
Right.
it should work.
I
Okay.
started out as a player. Now I'm a developer. All of a sudden.
Okay.
So
So
really, in my opinion, what makes a game trash
yeah.
is the fact that it's gone on for several seasons, and nothing has really changed in the community.
Okay.
And every
Yes.
game has its own community. The
Uh-huh.
community is so toxic,
My
makes you not even want to play.
Like there
Wow.
are some games that I would at first be interested in playing, but then after, if I want to see what other people think of the game, the community can just be toxic as all get out, and it just turns me off to the entire game.
Okay. So what is like I questioned you, Kenny, as to what is a trash game. So I'm gonna type in the comments here. What is a trash game?
To be, hey, look, listen.
It can go from graphics to community to overall gameplay to. I think one game that some people see as a trash game came out recently, Last of Us 2.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, Kenny, you agree? What makes
lot of
wow?
people-
Okay, well, hold on one second. First, I just want to just take one moment. What you, Micah? Tell me, because if it's a recent game, why would the game be trash when it just came out?
Because people had a problem with the way they portrayed some of the characters' doings.
Oh, okay.
And so there was one specific character who did some things that a lot of the community didn't see as okay.
Okay.
Which made a lot of people just stop playing the game.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of the game is played by this one character.
Uh-huh.
It shifts between the perspectives of multiple characters.
Uh-huh.
But there's a primary amount of it is done by this character.
Uh-huh.
And because of the things that this character does consistently,
Wow.
people just didn't like the game.
They didn't like the game anymore. So it could be how a character is portrayed that can make a game trash.
Or the actions that you cannot switch that
Okay.
will make the game trash.
Okay. How about Kenny? Anything else? What makes a trash game?
What makes a trash game for me, honestly, most times it boils down to the community. I believe that most games, and I'm talking somewhere around 95 to 98%, most games are playable.
Okay.
There's just this thing of where when you are playing, you have to put up with this extra layer of stuff that really has nothing to do with the game, but affects the gameplay.
Gotcha.
This is highly spiritual and religious, but I'm gonna stay with the game.
Okay.
It just makes you feel like, what's the point? Like, when Micah was first taking me through Splatoon 2, I got frustrated because he'd be clear across the map in his spawn, shooting at me while I'm in my spawn, and I'm like, why are you able to do this? I can't move.
I'm that good.
Then,
But then,
once I invested myself,
okay, once you got disciplined,
now I have to
It's
let him
more
know.
even.
Let's put this relationship back where it belongs. All right? I understand that, and that community, for the most part, is all right in my opinion, because, and I think one of the big things is, and it's sad, but there's not a whole lot of communication in that game versus games like Apex, Overwatch, or even Fortnite. Really,
yeah.
there are so many cheaters. There's
Hackers.
It's to the point where the game is trash because the game knows that this stuff is going on, but they won't do anything about it.
Oh, okay.
Or they don't have the tools necessary.
Okay.
I know that in Apex, what I was told was, if a person gets caught cheating, they're just put into a lobby with other cheaters, and they're able to continue to play the game just
Amongst cheaters. So you think so? Okay, here's the thing. So there is a level of judgment that you are looking for, wheat, tares, goats, sheep, that is not available in every gaming situation, you would feel a whole lot more comfortable if the gamers, those who are on high creating, if you knew there is a judgment for those who did not play the game properly. Is that a fair assessment, Kenny?
It is, but when you say it like that, it makes me feel bad.
Yeah, I don't feel good.
Let me get myself in here. So you say, why would you feel bad? Isn't that what you were just talking about? The idea
It is.
that you want there to be a judgment?
But I guess because of the kind of person I am, I'm not afraid of judgment.
Uh-huh.
Bring it. You know why? Because the moment before you turn on the computer or the console, you've made the choice of what kind of person you were going to be in this arena.
Right.
So when you do that, keep that same energy when judgment comes.
Like there was there's a popular YouTuber named Jarvis who was playing who's been playing Fortnite for a very long time, and he did a lot of challenges on his YouTube channel in Fortnite. And so for one of the things, he wanted to do something a little silly, and he decided to install like an aimbot onto his game and posted that on YouTube. Now because Epic Games has like very, very strict regulations about like hacking the game.
Okay.
And so now after like that whole thing was done, he got permanently banned. Like he's never allowed to play that game again.
Okay, but that
like
so that is that appropriate judgment for you, Micah? Finding out what this guy did.
Like for me personally, I think that it was a little harsh. Like yeah, you hack the game and you shouldn't do that. But he's like permanently banned for life.
I hear you.
He's not allowed to play like at
I hear
all.
you, but my only pushback to that is that he knew that could be the consequences for what he did. Now you may not have expected it. You may have did it expecting some leniency, but that's presumption. If you get caught, it's highly likely you'll get banned. And let me just add this to what he's saying.
Okay.
It's not just that he can't play for life. Any money that he has spent in the game on aesthetics and skins and all that other stuff, that's gone.
Okay.
You don't get that back.
Wow.
So I feel like, not to, bring it out of the gaming realm, but like we have to understand that not just as Christians, but as people.
Yeah.
When you do things, there are consequences from here leading up to there. And there's no telling what can happen, because right now, when you first started, it was just a conversation.
Right.
Once you installed that aimbot, we moved into judgment phase.
Right.
And you have to be willing to take what you get, because you went down that road.
He put himself in the investigative judgment. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like we should be having this conversation in church. On Sabbath. Just set up the round table. Let's get it.
A friend of mine has sent an answer into your early question of what makes a game trash.
Yeah.
Their answer is, I would say games that don't have a whole lot of content. Like games you can't replay and can just knock out in a couple of hours.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, thank you. We'll ask your friend what's an example of a trash game then.
Okay.
Well, while
why didn't they put it in the comments? So you can put it in the comments. We'd be able to touch it.
I think, Dr. Brooks, our understanding of video games, I don't know if you've ever been into video games, but I come from the era starting with Atari.
I remember those.
All right. So games, Michael, were very basic.
Yeah.
Pong
came out.
Well, Pong is even earlier, Micah.
Pong came out with, I think, somewhere between 5 or 6.
Wasn't Pong
skins.
the first one?
No. I'm saying that it's always the same game, but what they did, because our TVs did different, they weren't flat screens. There were these huge boxes that when you turned on the screen, it emitted like static on the screen. And so when you bought Pong, you could get these like skins that you could put on the screen that would be held there by the static. It's still Pong, but now
It
it looks like
looks
a basketball court, or it looks
Yeah.
like a tennis court, or a football field. Same game, and I don't know if you remember, Dr. Brooks, but E.T. was trash.
I do not remember because I
Isn't
played
that the
none
game
of those
that,
things.
like in the entire gaming community is all seen as the worst
It
game
is the worst.
ever created.
Really,
The
E.T.?
worst game ever created, and they
E.T.
actually unearthed it. Atari, because the game was so bad, because they rushed it, trying to push it with the launch of the movie. They buried that. They couldn't even sell Atari games at that point. So they buried it. Like a few years ago, they unearthed it, and people wanted it. The cartridge, you couldn't play it, obviously, but they wanted it for nostalgia reasons. The only other game I remember that was that trash was Shaq Fu. It was so bad on Super Nintendo, we had to play it. It was horrible. I mean,
that's when the
worst. I'm like, what is Shaq thinking about? But then they came out with Shaq Fu for the Nintendo Switch. I bought it.
Did you?
It's still trash. Absolutely.
Micah, put that down, please.
when controllers look like that.
That's dope.
Okay.
No, but in terms of games being
Gotcha.
trash, I mean, like I said, some of them, I think there's a level, kind of like a movie, where it's so bad you have to see, like Sharknado. You know, they made like 8 of those
They
things.
made like 4 of those.
No, there's a lot. This is like 8. And it's like,
No,
this is
really?
so bad, I have to watch this. Sharks in a tornado? Are you kidding me?
Right.
This could be the dumbest thing in the world, but we have to see it.
Right.
We have to. It's like a train wreck you can't turn away from.
Okay.
So because of that, I'm willing to give games, any game, really, the benefit of the doubt initially, whereas like Last of Us 2, I'll try it, even if a whole bunch of people saying it is garbage, because depending on the person calling it garbage, I'm like, hey, you don't know garbage.
Yeah. Okay.
If you
Now,
see what I saw.
Gotcha.
On that, from the also going back to that question of what makes a trash game, you asked for an example.
Yeah.
This person said, I would say Mario Kart Tour on mobile. And I would actually make the argument that a lot of mobile games are like that. Like, they aren't made to be kept on like your phone for a very long period of time. Because like the ones that you usually keep are like if I could use you as an example, the games that I've seen you have on your Kindle, your phone for the longest time, Candy Crush.
I don't have that on either one, but okay, I get you. I had
Or
it was
Candy Crush like games.
yes.
Like
Okay.
Gardenscapes.
Yeah,
now
yeah, I
is
got you.
what
I
I've
got
been
you.
playing
Got you.
all
Those
the time.
little puzzle things we
and
just keep.
those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, puzzle games. There hasn't been like a game that is for mobile where people would stop everything they're doing and then just look at their phone screen and play a game for a very long time.
Okay, I hear you there.
And
Well,
in my opinion, I haven't seen a game that has captivated. Well, actually, there was one game I can quote. This Pokemon Go.
okay. All right.
That was, I think, just because.
Dr. Brooks, I think, was selling cell phones when we were playing Snake.
I was. But here's a
You told me
question.
that story like I never forgot that. Dr. Brooks used to work for Singular or something.
Yeah, no, I work for Verizon.
Verizon, there it is.
There you go. But hey, now we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to something because something you said earlier, Kenny. You've made 2 allusions to this already in our conversation about what the gaming community can be like and church. And in church, many of us, that's where our devotion to God is, where we find meaning. We've got this book of scriptures that we find definition, and it defines aspects of our lives or aspirational ways that we want to live. Can you, both being people who like to play video games and call yourselves gamers, what is the link you think between gaming, or is there a link between gaming and church?
Ooh, let me 2 things very quickly. First, the community. We've spoken about this, and I have had people very close to me say things like, the most important thing in church is relationships.
Okay.
Okay, what in the church, if you don't have relationship to the one, then all other relationships are not gonna matter. But
Okay.
I understand it from the standpoint that if the community is toxic, it makes you not want to be there.
Right.
And I don't know if we place the correct. I don't think it's about the amount, but I think it's about the correct understanding of our responsibility to one another in Christ. In our churches.
All right, hold on one second right there. So is there in the gaming community a responsibility to other gamers?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Y'all teaching me today.
If you like a game, you're going to want to share that game with more people.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so to have that specific part of your community, which is just awful in what the things that they do in the game, is just disheartening.
Okay.
Because that's not the entire community. The entire community isn't just that. And while I can definitely make the argument that there are some gaming communities where it's all toxic, that's for a lot of the games, that's not the case.
Okay.
And
I
so
mean for a lot of the games or for a lot of the gamers?
A lot of the, I guess you could say both.
Because now here is the thing. What I'm sorry, Kenny. I want to get you back to you were giving a list there, and I interrupted you. So can you continue, Kenny?
Okay, so if we need to make sure, like before this whole pandemic set off, I had plans to come to you, Micah, so we can get an understanding of Overwatch. Overwatch is a team-based game. If you don't play your role correctly, there's no way we're going to survive.
Absolutely.
To me, that is a wonderful example of how we should conduct ourselves in church. I have a role, you have a role. If we are going to make it out of here, we have got to play our role successfully, not for the good of myself, but for the good of the other people on my team.
Yes.
Okay. The second thing I was going to say is it's the game itself. Listen, part of what makes a game trash is when you're not really digging the content of said game.
Oh.
Now, the content of our game, we have people, like, I might, say I'm a Christian, but I don't know anything about the game we're playing because I spent very little time actually doing it.
Okay,
now,
I think I
need you to
understand you there.
understand
I was a
something,
little
Dr.
lost. Go ahead.
Okay. There's a difference between simply playing the game and then playing the game the way it's meant to be played. Splatoon 2 is highly competitive.
Okay.
And it is also a team-based game.
It's also a team-based game. So, the people who play this competitively, like for real, they spend time in the game learning the weapons, understanding the sub-weapons and the what's the other thing called, Micah? The
specials.
Yeah, the specials. Their gear, the way they put it together. What they wear in the game
matters.
Dr. Brooks means something.
What they wear. So you're telling me how people present themselves can matter even in the game?
Yes.
You understand me?
People
in the game we playing has way higher stakes than that game.
Right.
Another
this is understood to the point where I understand not just what I bring to it, but how I present myself in it is going to help my team or hurt my team.
Wow.
Nah.
Yeah.
Don't say that to
another
nobody.
people.
If you ain't buying my clothes, then don't talk to me about it.
Another thing a lot of professional Splatoon 2 players do is they have a designated set of people that they'll play the game with.
Okay.
And so when playing the game on like big stages, you will always see usually the same 4 people sitting on all on the same side. They've practiced everything that they want to be able to do in the game, and they've even practiced strategies on how to figure out what the enemy team is trying to do.
Talk to him about it.
Okay.
And so this takes a very long amount of time because each player has to have a weapon that they're good with. They have to have good stats with that weapon. They have to make sure they have the correct thing that they're wearing
Now,
that
let me
complements
ask you real
what they're
quick.
using.
Let me
Okay.
ask you one real quick.
What?
When was the one before this one? When was the very last Splatfest?
Last Splatfest was, I believe, last year. Wait, no, not last year. It was early this year.
No, the one before that one. That one was last year.
Okay.
Where we thought we were getting no more Splatfest, right?
And then they came out with the Ketchup versus Mayo one. Yeah, that was June.
Now, peep this, Dr. Brooks.
Okay.
We believed that
Yeah.
we weren't getting any more Splatfest.
Any more Splatfest? You're a little off camera. Just move a little bit to your left, Kenny.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. There you go.
So we believed we were getting no more Splatfest.
Uh-huh.
So everything that Micah just told you, you would think, oh, well, that's going out the door. We ain't getting no more Splatfest, so
Nobody's going to play the
you're not really
game?
building up to anything.
Okay.
Nope. They kept doing it. And
It
then
is
out
so-
of the blue came another Splatfest.
And the game exploded.
Wow.
And believe me, bro, whether you play Overwatch, Fortnite, Apex, whatever, the skills don't transfer. You have to be in that game practicing the way they do if you want to succeed.
And you're talking specifically to Splatoon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There is
Okay.
definitely a learning curve in how you play the game.
So
But isn't there a learning curve in no matter what game you're playing?
There's that you could say that, but then there are also some games where you need absolutely no skill and you can just press one button the entire time and you'll probably do fine.
But in this case, along the lines of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
see, if my church is Apex, your church is Platoon 2,
Uh-huh.
and there's a Splatfest coming,
Uh-huh.
my church just dabbles in Splatoon, but we play Apex real hard.
Right.
The time we show up to Splatfest, we're going to get wiped all over the stadium.
Because
Right.
you'll have no
The
clue what you're
skills
doing.
don't transfer.
Oh, so you're
And
saying
what I think is that in any given, since every game has a community, when you go on Twitch, you can see it's not just a bunch of games together. When you click on Splatoon, everybody that shows up is playing that game.
Right.
I'm not saying that everybody's committed to it, but what I'm saying is that sometimes your community can be made up. Now, this is a Splatoon community, for example, but you got people in here playing Overwatch. You got other people playing Apex more than they play Splatoon, but they still classify themselves as Splatoon players.
right.
And when the Splatfest starts, we're going to see who the real Splatoon players are because the skills don't transfer. If you're here, we should be on one accord. We should have all things in common.
Right.
Get yourself off of Overwatch and get on Splatoon, because when the Splatfest comes, we're not going to survive.
Okay.
It's different.
I think I understand your metaphor. Go ahead, Micah.
I could say that for me, before the most recent or last Splatfest happened, I had completely stopped playing the game.
Okay.
I hadn't revisited the game in actual months.
Uh-huh.
But when the Splatfest was announced to happen, like, I started prepping for it a week before.
Uh-huh.
So because before I had stopped playing, I would say I was pretty good at the game.
Uh-huh.
But on the week leading up to the Splatfest, I would make sure that I had a weapon that I knew I was good at and I knew that I could dominate with. I made sure that I had the correct gear ready. I made sure that I had people on my team who I played well with and I could communicate with. And all that leading up to the Splatfest helped. When the Splatfest came, I was on Team Catch-Up. And at the end of the day, Team Catch-Up won.
Okay.
So
He's basically part of the 5 virgins that were wise.
Exactly.
It's part of the wise group.
Yeah.
He went through the
wise
experiences that prepared him for when the bridegroom would come. Being in this regard, it was your Splatfest.
Mayo was the wrong decision.
Uh-huh. But now here is where I think and listening to the two of you and the ferocity or veracity with which you're able to speak to your particular gaming tastes, it does sound a lot like church, Kenny. Because if you are in a church community, it is advantageous to be on the same page with your community. And even if you're in the church, but you're out here also dabbling in other games, if you will, you won't be truly prepared for what your community, your church community, is getting ready to go do. Whether that going to do is outreach, or if it's evangelism, or if it's preparing for the second coming. The need for every person who is a part of the community is to practice to make themselves act when the time comes, so that they can be activated to help out everybody on the team, so that we can succeed together. Do you think that's a decent assessment?
Yes.
Absolutely, and I think the other part of it is that when you practice, for example, the way Micah did, as a teammate coming in, when I see Micah or I see you, I'm confident in your skills because I know that you feel the same way about this content as I do. So like when you're a gamer or a gamer / streamer, there is a unspoken understanding that when my stream goes live, people are expecting me to play a particular game,
right?
Because that's the game they came in on. Now, it doesn't mean I need to play it all the time, but I need to play it enough where they'll know, oh, Fox is about to start streaming, so let me pop in my game because I'm going to play with him. I need to feel confident as a Christian that the person occupying the pew with me to my front, left, right, whatever the case may be, that you understand the nature of what we're up against and you're working toward the same goal as me. It's when we are not doing that and we're kind of freelancing a bit that it makes it feel like, well, what are we doing here? We're not even good enough to give out food in the community. Nobody is checking for us because we're not good at one thing by trying to be good at a whole lot of things.
Gotcha.
When you're working towards the goal, especially in with a group of people, like most team-based games, you have to know what your role is. You can't be the one holding all the meds and going off fighting people by yourself. That's not, if you're going to do that, give the meds to someone else and you can hold more of the weapons.
Absolutely.
Don't try to do someone else's job. Do your job. Because when you try to do more than one thing, that's when you'll get the entire squad in trouble.
Yeah, so I think that's from Galatians where you're talking about the foot shouldn't be trying to do what the eye does. Yes. But we're all still one body working together as we move forward, whether you're in the gaming community or in a church community. Can you tell me what, really quick, I don't know how many games you all play, but what's your favorite game and why?
Favorite game?
I would say right now, I'm actually teetering between 3 games.
3 games?
Yeah, actually 3. There's 3 that I play consistent. Oh crap! Nope, it's 4.
So then,
I got 2.
What are your 2 games?
Yeah, what are your 2?
Okay, my 2 games I'd say are Fortnite and Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Okay.
Those are my 2 games that I will alternate between.
All right,
and
Kenny?
while Super Smash Bros. Ultimate does not make as much sense, it's mainly because I enjoy getting better at the specific characters that I know I'm good at playing. So I will frequently go back to the game so I know that I'm still good with these characters. And if not that, then get better at these characters or learn new ways to use these characters.
I need to play that game.
Yes, you do. You really do.
Well, see, one of the games that I'm playing is Overcooked 2 because that's the only game. Overcooked
There's a game called Overcooked. It's about being in the kitchen.
Yes,
that's
and
the only
there's
game
two of
that I
them.
can play with my wife. And she will actually
They
come
make
on
video games
stream.
about anything, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
There's a game about stacking boxes.
Pretty soon there'll be a game about pastors. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I ain't playing that one either. Let's go.
Overcooked is like the only game that she will actually come on stream with me and play. It allows her to be destructive toward
Chefing
me.
it up.
So she'll push me off the map sometimes, and it's hilarious to her. But as long as she's willing to play it with me, I don't care what she does.
Okay, that's nice.
There's Apex, there's Overwatch, and this last one, which is a little weird, but
Dead by Daylight.
yes.
What?
I want to play that game.
What game is that?
No, you know what it is? You know what I think it is?
What's the name of the game first?
Dead by
Daylight.
Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. Is that a zombie game?
No. But
not
this is not going to
specifically
make
zombie.
any sense. Don't even try it because he's not. It's not going to register on his. It's not.
Yeah.
Why would you act like I'm not capable of understanding? What's the point of the game?
And
Don't
there's
get-
the problem right
don't-
there.
Mhm.
What's the point of the game?
Okay. The point of the game is to escape the killer and to get out alive.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay,
that's
but hold
not
on.
super
The,
difficult to
the
understand.
survivors.
Yeah, wait.
Survivors come from all walks of life, but they all know how to fix generators.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. That look, right there. Yeah, see, I've known you long
But there
enough.
are
I knew
high-
it was coming, and that's
there
why I
are
didn't
high-
want to say anything.
There are high
Because
schoolers who are
even
doing
to
like
me,
high
that
level
makes no
engineering
sense.
jobs.
You guys can't
This
talk
is a
over each
very
other.
specific set of skills to have that all of these people from everywhere, they know how to work on generators.
There are high schoolers doing things that bioengineers can't.
Okay. So
Um,
so I don't okay, so the point of the game, however, is to survive.
Yes.
So if the point of the
Don't
game is
die.
to survive, the fact that there are other people that can do special things is good. It's not crazy, and it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
It's just weird.
The first thing,
Yeah.
I guess, with every game, first thing you have to understand is the rules of the game. Just like in sci-fi, you got to know the rules of the world you're in. Comic books, you got to know the rules of whatever hero that you have or that comic book realm. So it's not so far out of the realm of possibility to understand, but the first thing you have to do is be willing to understand the game. I want you all to understand what I'm doing right now is trying to use my own missiological skills to bring together what it is you've been talking about. Our time is almost. Oh no, we got a good bit of time left. But I wanted to get to the
Let me
point.
tell you just real quick.
Uh-huh.
Just real quick. So, the thing that I like about this game.
This
kinda
is Dead by
other games,
Daylight?
Dead by Daylight, yes, is that although it is dark, it also is spiritual in that each person has a skill that is particular to them. So even when you're going into the game, there's something called a loadout where you carry with you something called perks. Everyone gets to carry 4. And then there's, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
There's something you carry that's called an offering. And
and
that offering, if you survive, not only gives you extra points, but it gives the other 3 that you're playing with those points as well.
Okay.
And so it's like incentive to play your role and to make sure that everybody escapes. You don't just get out by yourself.
Amen.
You have to take your team with you.
Hey,
And once
that's
again,
a word right there.
in
That's a
church,
word for the
it
Christian.
is- In that gaming community, that's understood. In the church, if we understood it on that level, because even when the doors are open and you can run, if if one of your teammates is on the hook, you don't just leave.
Right.
You go back and get them.
You leave no
Even
man
though
behind
the
or no
door
girl
is
behind.
right here. I can't leave you in there. I gotta go get you.
Okay, that's
I
neat.
think that's dope.
That's neat. Now, that's a game that you're playing right now, or that's a game you're wanting to
that's
play?
the game I was playing
That's
before
the
we
game.
got started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a game you want to play, Micah.
The UK.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I want to
don't-
play. I'd be scared for like 90% of it, but I'd be Okay. Out. Later.
Okay. All right, real fast. I'm gonna jump off to a single view here. Okay, friends and friends, if you're watching us live right now, or if you end up watching this a little bit later, listen, we'd really enjoy for you to be part of our Syncretize community. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and sometimes we make sense, and sometimes we don't. But our desire and our hope is that in talking about the things that aren't always awesome or don't make the most sense, that we would still be able to enjoy the things that we like, and have a good time doing that with you. So if you've got something you want to hear us talk about, or you'd want to be one of the people that jumps on one of these streams with us and share what your fandom is, we would really appreciate it. So like, subscribe. We try to do this every Sunday. Sometimes it goes to every other Sunday depending what's going on in our lives. But the hope is that we can continue to talk about mission and meaning through the things that we love, because ultimately I'm a church guy, I'm a pastor, and my desire is to see as many people saved as possible. But many of you will not be able to see that happen, because the church is not going to be how you get to see who God is. You're looking at God, or you're engaged with a community that allows you to see the best in other people. So we want to be able to learn more about that and see how does that line up with what we would want to do for the kingdom. So for my team here that's talking with us today, usually at the end of our talk together, I ask Micah to come up with something silly, some hypothetical. You have a hypothetical, so we always end with Micah's hypothetical. Micah, what is your hypothetical?
Okay, this one I think is going to be primarily for me and Uncle Kenny, because it is about video games. I'm thinking you might have an answer for it, but here's the question. If you could combine two games and have it be one game combining aspects of both, which two games would you combine?
Oh, that's easy. I can do that. Spades and dominoes.
Just-
Who are you,
No.
Bernie Mac? What's the matter with you?
Those are the video games that I play. I play spades and dominoes.
that's not the point.
Why? What's wrong with that? He asked a question. I answered.
True. Okay.
And I still haven't heard from either one of you. So what?
Okay.
So now what?
I would say I would combine Just Dance and Super Smash Ultimate.
Oh my gosh, that's a full body workout right there.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, you should be able to do any moves that you can't do IRL.
Stop it for
I
real.
would combine Wii Fit Plus and Fortnite.
I like it. I like it.
You run on the balance board.
Yeah,
You hold your Wii remote as your gun. And that's how you aim.
That's it. That
Hey,
but that was a full body workout. Another full body workout game.
In the days of arcades, we actually had that, but it was mad expensive to run it. We actually had that in I think it was called GameWorks. They had games like that. But
yes, they did. They did have that one. I do recall that in a GameWorks. The GameWorks still exists though, and I don't know if they have that game anymore.
I think they took the one out of Ontario Mills.
They did?
It's not there anymore. Yes, I think it's an Under Armour store now.
You are correct. Yeah.
That
is an Under Armour store now. It's no longer a GameWorks.
I used to work there when I first moved here.
That's right. But with that said,
before we go.
Yes, before we go.
I'm bringing this to you.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna get you full screen right here, Kenny. Go ahead and make your pitch.
I need to bring this to you.
But
I want to watch you play that.
I need you, Dr. Brooks.
Oh, me.
In this game. Yes, you.
Yes. I want to.
If at all possible. You need to stream this.
So
No.
okay,
Listen.
all right. For one of
You
our
know who this
Syncretize,
is?
listen. This is what we'll do. We can do this for a Syncretize, but you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come and do the whole setup for us here, Kenny. We will spend a Sunday afternoon playing a game, and I will attempt to play said game, and we will stream it. Michael, you can even IG live it to see
Yes.
what we do and see where we go from there. Maybe we can get some subscribers.
But do you know who's in this game?
No, I have no idea who's in the game.
The person on the cover right here?
I don't know who that is.
That's Jesse Wilson.
Jesse Wilson. That's that guy from used to be on Grey's Anatomy.
Absolutely.
Cheated on his black wife.
Whichever way.
All
Whichever way.
right,
Also,
listen.
possible
Uh-huh.
future episode
Uh-huh.
or mega episode that can go along with the stream at some point as something I'd want to do. Percy Jackson panel.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Percy Jackson panel.
All right, we got to
Or-
find somebody
and-
who really loves the game
Yeah.
those books like you do. Do
Yeah,
you have some
have-
friends?
Yeah, I could send out something on my Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Sign up if you want to do it.
Okay.
And then first like few people
This is
who
going
say
in the
yes.
church bulletin. So
Uh-huh.
you need to give me a date.
Okay. All right. With that said, we're going to end our stream for today. I'm going to take you guys off camera. Just mute yourselves, please, please, please. God bless you. If you're still with us, hanging out with us today, we had a good time talking about games and what the gaming community can teach the church. Within the gaming community, we find that we have people who know how to work together. There are people who support one another in their gaming pursuits. There is a level of discipline that has to be created and maintained in order to see success in a video game. And that same thing is necessary for all of us when it comes to our lives, and even more so our spiritual lives. So for you and for me, there's something that we can learn. And I want to encourage you to keep learning in whatever aspect or space that you're taking up today in your life. Our hope and our aim is to expand our community so that we are bringing as many people forward in life as possible, and we hope that you would be among them. If you liked this video, just go ahead and subscribe, share, communicate, give us some ideas of what you'd like to see us doing moving forward. Listen, this is not just about video games, but it's about sci-fi, it's about anime, it's about comic books. If you're in any one of those fandoms, we would love to have or be able to experience life with you and talk about those things that matter to you. That's what we're about, trying to find mission and meaning in the lives that we live. Thanks for being with us. I'll bring on everybody again. Y'all can say your goodbyes. Where people can find you. Brother Kenny, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitch at Star Fox Trinity, and you can find me on YouTube at Hacienda Heights SDA Church.
Star Fox Trinity
Tuesday through
on
Friday.
what?
Huh?
Star Fox Trinity on what?
Twitch.
All right, I'm gonna drop this in there for you. On Twitch. And Micah, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at hiding in a dumpster, and also on Twitch on my friend's Twitch channel, Jarmungus, on which I make a few appearances.
Okay, all right. And myself,
Oh,
Delroy
Hiding in a
Brooks.
dumpster.
Mute yourselves, you weirdos. I am on and available. All platforms. I'm the same thing. The youth pastor. Wherever you, whatever you're looking at, and however you find it, that's what we are. I'm going to change that so you can actually make sense. That's where we are. Where we can be found. Oops, want to link that over. There we are. Wherever you are, whatever streaming platform you use, you can find me at that login. We'd love to interact with you. That's it for us today. So I'm going to go back to my esteemed panel. Y'all can say your bye-byes. Hold on. Gonna take I think I had you muted, but I'll bring you back on so your mute's off. Go ahead and say what's up. Bye-bye.
Bye
And that
bye.
is
Holla
the
back.
end
No,
of
socks and
this
Inside
sandals are not
program.
NFL
cool.
fans.
You're mad people.
It's not a